Friends, when I was stationed in Guam, I was introduced to Filipino food. And let me just say, Filipino food is so good. If you haven't had it, you have to try it. It's so flavorful, it's heartfelt, it has history. Now, I didn't travel to the Philippines then, but the food definitely found me. And that's what my kitchen travels is all about. It's about food that has shaped my life and my memories. That's why today my kitchen travels to the Philippines by way of Guam. So I'm sitting out here outside of Walmart. I have a few little staples that I have to go in and pick up so we can cook our Filipino dish. So without further ado, let's run in here, pick up some things, and get home and get cooking. So I already have everything washed and prepped and I'm ready to go. So I'm starting with my bone-in chicken. I'm going to do some drumsticks. And traditionally, you're not supposed to season it before browning it. But I like to build flavor in my food, friends. So I'm adding just a little salt, very light, because we're using soy sauce, and just a little bit of black pepper. So I'm heating up my Dutch oven and I'm going to add as my neutral sauce, I'm using avocado oil. And I'm going to let it get nice and hot before the chicken goes in. You want to hear that sizzle when you put the chicken in. Once the chicken hits the pot, I let it brown and I turn it every 3 to 4 minutes. This step is about developing flavor frames and getting a good sear on all sides. And now I'm adding a half a cup of soy sauce. And then I'm going in with a half a cup of white vinegar. And you're going to let that vinegar cook off for about 60 seconds before doing anything else. That's important for balancing the flavor. Once everything comes to a light boil, I add my broth. And then, of course, you're going to give it a good stir. I'm also adding a couple bay leaves in here for the flavor and some black peppercorn. Now I turn the heat down. I'm going to cover it and let the chicken adobo simmer low and slow. Now for my side, I'm making rice. I have long grain white rice going in my rice cooker because rice was always a part of this meal. Now while the adobo simmers and the rice cook, I move over to my lumpia station. Yes, friends, we're having lumpia too. So I have ground turkey, onions, carrots, and cabbage, and mushrooms already measured. So I'm just going to mix everything together really well so every bite is evenly seasoned. And I can't forget the lumpia wrappers that I picked up from the Asia market the last time I was there. So now comes the rolling. This part is always just so relaxing to me. I just take my time and roll them one by one. Now, when we were over in Guam, stationed in Guam, we would have friends over and do like a lumpia rolling party as a get together. And we would roll up so many lumpias because you can also put these in freezer bags and freeze them for later. So that's what I'm going to do here. There's like 30 wrappers that come in a box. I'm going to wrap all as many lumpias as I can. And I'll probably just fry up about 4 or 5 of them. And the rest, I'm going to go ahead and put in a freezer bag and put in the freezer for later. So now I'm going to heat my oil, and I heat it until it's hot enough that the lumpia sizzles as soon as it hits the pan. And since my filling is already cooked, friends, I'm going to fry these just a few minutes, and I'm going to turn them until they are golden brown and have like a crisp color to them. Okay, it's time to play. Friends, it smells so good. Y'all don't even know it smells so good. So I'm going to start with my rice, and then I'm going to add my steamed broccoli. Yes, I'm going to pull some of this tender chicken straight from the pot, spoon a little of the adobo sauce over everything, and of course, a couple pieces of lumpia to finish the plate. Okay, first bite. Yes, yes, we need another bite. We need another bite, friends. Just to make sure. Okay. So now let's add that with some chicken and some of the rice with the sauce. Slap my mama. Yes, this is so good, friends. So thank you so much for watching my kitchen travels, and I will see you on the next journey.